We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so let's dive right in, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
We've been taking a look at some of your recent internet searches, and it seems like you've been doing quite a bit of research on astronomy stuff lately, huh?
Right.
Lots of searches for things like lunar eclipses and blood moons, especially for tonight, March 14th, 2025. So you're really looking up tonight, huh?
It definitely seems that way. And it's really interesting to see the kind of searches you've been making, everything from just general things like eclipse tonight, all the way to some very specific questions about, like, could you see it in California or in Ohio? And even, like, timings for the Griffith Observatory. So really, in this deep dive today, we want to kind of, like, unpack all this and see what we can learn about your interest in what might be happening in the sky tonight.
Exactly, because it really does seem like you're looking for some pretty specific information here.
Yeah.
Like, first and foremost, is there going to be a lunar eclipse tonight? Or a blood moon, for that matter. And then, so what time can you actually expect to see it?
Yeah.
Will it be visible from where you are? Because you've been looking up all kinds of locations like California, Ohio, Texas, Florida. You're also really interested in the timing, it seems, across different time zones. So you're searching for things like EST, PST Central Time. You want to know exactly when this thing is going to happen.
For sure. And you even want to make sure you're looking at the right kind of event, too.
Exactly. Is this going to be
lunar eclipse? Total eclipse.
A red moon.
Yeah.
All these different terms.
Right. And one thing that really jumps out at us is just how many of your searches have the word tonight in them.
So many.
What does that tell us right off the bat?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway there is just this sense of anticipation, right? You're not just casually interested in these topics. You're expecting something to happen.
Right.
And you're looking for confirmation and details specifically for tonight.
It's like, something's coming.
Exactly. And the fact that you're using tonight in so many different searches, eclipse tonight, blood moon tonight, moon tonight, all of these variations, it really points to a widespread expectation that something's going to be happening with the moon.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, you've also been searching a lot for two terms in particular, blood moon and lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
So what's the connection there?
So a blood moon is often used to describe a total lunar eclipse.
Okay.
It's a very fitting description when you think about it.
Yeah.
So a lunar eclipse happens when the Earth moves directly between the sun and the moon.
Okay.
And the Earth casts its shadow onto the moon.
Gotcha.
Now, in a total lunar eclipse, the entire moon is passing into what's called the Earth's umbra.
The umbra.
Yeah, which is like the darkest part of its shadow.
Okay.
But even though the moon's in shadow, it doesn't completely disappear.
Oh, really?
Right, because some sunlight is still reaching it.
Oh, indirectly.
Yeah.
And that sunlight gets bent or refracted as it passes through the Earth's atmosphere.
Interesting.
And here's the really cool part. The Earth's atmosphere scatters the shorter wavelengths of light, like blue and violet, more effectively than the longer wavelengths like red. So what happens is the light that reaches the moon is predominantly reddish.
I see.
Which gives it that awesome coppery or blood red color.
That's why they call it a blood moon.
Exactly. So to sum it up, a blood moon is always a total lunar eclipse.
Okay.
But not every lunar eclipse results in a blood moon. You only get that really dramatic color during totality.
Gotcha. So it's kind of a special kind of lunar eclipse.
Precisely.
Now, you were also very focused on timing in your searches.
Yeah, seems important, right?
Yeah, you're asking things like, what time is the blood moon tonight? Or when does the lunar eclipse start? And peak time. Those were really common. And then you're even getting into specific time zones like EST, PST Central Time. So what does all that tell us about what you were looking for?
Well, to me, it says that you weren't just, kind of passively interested in the idea of an eclipse. You were really looking for actionable information.
You wanted to be ready.
Exactly. You wanted to know precisely when to go out and look up, and ideally for your specific location.
That makes sense.
And the level of detail in those timing searches suggests that you were probably trying to plan your evening around this event.
For sure, yeah, like clearing your schedule or...
Right, exactly. Like, okay, what am I going to do tonight? I need to make sure I'm free at this specific time to see this thing.
You don't want to miss it.
Exactly. And it also shows that you understand that these celestial events, they unfold over time.
Yeah.
They have a beginning, a peak, and an end. It's not just like a sudden flash in the sky.
Right. It's a whole process. And you wanted to know exactly how that process was going to play out.
Absolutely. And you were also curious about where you might be able to see this.
Yeah, all those location searches, California, Ohio, Indiana, Texas, Florida, Colorado, Chicago, Seattle, Hawaii, Los Angeles. This is like you were checking if this was going to be a nationwide event.
Right? Like, could my friends and family in other states see it too? Or am I going to be the only lucky one?
Well, maybe you were thinking about traveling to a better spot to see it.
Yeah, maybe catch it from a different angle or something.
Exactly. And that mention of Griffith Observatory, that's really intriguing.
It definitely makes you wonder.
Because that suggests a landmark, specifically known for astronomical viewing.
Right. A prime spot for stargazing.
Maybe even a place that offers live streams of these events for people who can't be there in person.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like they do for certain meteor showers and things like that.
Exactly. So you were really thinking about all the different ways you might be able to witness this.
Absolutely. Now, beyond just tonight, though, you were also asking some bigger questions.
Oh, yeah?
Like venturing into the past and the future with searches like next lunar eclipse, when was the last blood moon, and how often does a lunar eclipse happen? So what do you think sparked those kinds of questions?
Well, it's natural, isn't it? Once you get really interested in something like a lunar eclipse, you want to put it into context.
Right.
So you want to know how often these things happen, when did the last one occur, when's the next one coming?
Yeah.
And that tells me that you're moving beyond just observing a single event. You're starting to think about the patterns and the cycles involved.
The bigger picture.
Exactly. You're thinking about the mechanics of the solar system.
It's like you're becoming an astronomer yourself.
Well, maybe not quite yet, but
you're on your way.
the curiosity's there.
And speaking of curiosity, we also noticed searches for worm moon and penumbral lunar eclipse.
Oh, yeah. Those are a little different, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not quite the same as a total lunar eclipse. So what do you make of those searches?
Well, to me, it looks like you were really digging deep into all the different kinds of lunar events.
You were going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. And trying to figure out if tonight's anticipated event might be one of these less dramatic types.
Right, because a worm moon, that's just a traditional name for the full moon in March.
Right. It signals the start of spring.
Yeah, the earthworms start coming out.
Exactly.
But it's not really related to an eclipse. It's just a full moon.
Exactly. And then you've got penumbral lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a subtle type of eclipse.
Okay.
It happens when the moon passes through the Earth's penumbra.
Penumbra?
Yeah, which is the faint outer part of its shadow. And honestly, those events are often so subtle you might not even notice them.
Really?
Yeah, they can be pretty hard to see.
Yeah.
But the fact that you searched for these terms tells me that you were really trying to understand all the nuances of these different lunar events.
You wanted to know all the possibilities.
Right. And even though you were looking into these other types of events, the overwhelming focus on blood moon in your searches really suggests that you were anticipating something a bit more significant.
Something more visually striking.
Exactly. Something that would really catch your eye.
Now, we also saw some searches for solar eclipse March 2025 and total solar eclipse.
Yes. Those are a completely different kind of sky show.
Totally different. And it's interesting that you were looking those up, too.
It is.
So what's the key difference between a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse?
They're both eclipses, of course.
Right?
But they involve different celestial bodies and alignments.
Okay.
So a lunar eclipse, like we've been talking about, is the Earth casting its shadow on the moon. But a solar eclipse happens when the moon passes directly between the sun and the Earth.
Okay.
And casts its shadow on us on the Earth.
Gotcha. So it's like the opposite.
In a way, yeah. And those solar eclipse searches might just indicate, a general interest in astronomy.
Right.
Or maybe you're aware of some other upcoming astronomical events.
Yeah, you're keeping up with the celestial calendar.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that the sky is constantly changing.
For sure.
There's always something new to see up there.
Absolutely. Now, one last thing that really stood out in your searches was all the stuff about live streams.
Oh, yeah. You were definitely looking into that.
Yeah, things like Lunar Eclipse Live, Live Lunar Eclipse, Griffith Observatory live stream, Live Blood Moon. It seems like you are determined to see this event one way or another, even if you couldn't physically see it in the sky.
Absolutely. And I think that says a lot about how we engage with these events today.
Right.
We have the technology to experience things even if we can't be there in person.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And it also speaks to the communal aspect of these events.
Right.
Like, even if you can't see it with your own eyes,
Yeah.
you still want to share the experience with others.
Yeah.
Watch it unfold in real time. Connect with people who are excited about the same thing.
It's like a virtual watch party.
Exactly. And that mention of Griffith Observatory live stream, again, that really points to them as a trusted source for this kind of content.
A go-to place for all things astronomy.
For sure. So let's put all the pieces together here.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. What have we learned?
Well, we've got a ton of search activity focused on the moon tonight, March 14th, 2025.
Right.
The terms blood moon and lunar eclipse are popping up everywhere.
Uh-huh.
You're looking for precise timings for all sorts of locations.
Yeah.
And you're even exploring live stream options.
So what's the verdict?
Based on all of that, it's incredibly likely that we're going to see a total lunar eclipse tonight.
A blood moon.
Most likely a blood moon.
Yeah.
And your searches indicate that you and a lot of other people are really eager to find out all the details about when it's going to happen.
Eager to see it.
Exactly how long it's going to last and all of that. And even though we don't have the specific astronomical data right here in front of us,
Right.
the sheer volume and the specificity of your searches tell us that something big is happening in the sky tonight.
It really does seem like tonight, March 14th, 2025, is going to be a special night for skywatchers.
Definitely. And it's fantastic to see this level of curiosity and engagement with the cosmos.
It's inspiring.
It is. And it makes me wonder what other wonders of the night sky might capture your attention next.
Yeah. Will it be the dance of the planets or the glimmer of a distant nebula?
Who knows? But the universe is full of amazing things just waiting to be discovered.
And your questions are the first step on that journey of discovery.
So keep looking up and keep asking those questions.
And who knows, maybe we'll see you back here for another deep dive into your search history.
I'd love that.
Until then, keep exploring the universe.
And never stop learning.
That's all for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.